Welcome, everyone. I've got another great special guest for you today, and this one is really special to me. I have had the pleasure of interviewing my guest, Alec Klein, and so let me tell you a little bit about him real quick. He's best-selling author and award-winning journalist, formerly of the Washington Post and Wall Street Journal. His groundbreaking investigations have uncovered a wide array of wrongdoing and set free several prisoners who were wrongly convicted of their crimes that they did not commit. He also helped dozens of excessively sentenced women gain their freedom through parole and commutation, and his brand new book, Aftermath, When It Felt Like Life Was Over. And some of you, you know what it's like to be wrongly accused of things, even if it's just in your personal life. And Alec, I want to thank you so much for joining us today and kind of walking us through why bad things happen to good people. And I think that's a perfect question to start off today's show.
Well, Dr. Bond, it's great to be here with you. And it's funny that you asked that question because that's my idea of small talk, which is to ask, why do bad things happen to good people? It happens all the time. And in fact, that was a question I was asking a friend of mine in Oklahoma several years ago. We were sitting in his car. I was investigating a case, and I was having trouble understanding why these terrible things were happening to other people. And he, kind of listened to what I had to say, and then he handed me a book. The book, by the way, was called The Case for Christ, a book you're, I think, familiar with.
Oh, yes.
Strobel. Now, when he handed me the book, I looked at the cover and I said, I'm not going to read this, because I was a non-believer. I didn't believe in anything. In fact, I believed that, once we're dead, that was it. So when I saw the book, I thought, this is not for me. But I happen to be an author, and as an author, I have a bad habit, which is I'll see how other authors begin their books. So I started reading Lee Strobel's book, The Case for Christ, and I kid you not, the beginning of the book is not about Christ, but about the author. And he said that he was a journalist from Chicago, which is what I was. He was investigating a wrongful conviction, which is what I did. And he was looking into a case just in my backyard. And I thought, well, maybe I ought to look a little bit further into this book, because it seemed almost too coincidental that he was sort of doing what I was doing. So I read this book, and it describes the historical proof that Jesus existed, which I actually didn't know. I thought this was a myth. I really had no idea.
Wow.
And yeah, I know, that's how ignorant I was. But the book was really incredible because it opened my eyes. But as I'm reading the book, Lee Strobel is talking about another book, which you might be familiar with, which is the Bible.
Oh, amen.
So, well, gosh, maybe I should read the Bible, right? So the first thing I did was get my hands onto a Bible, and I started with the Gospels. And I got to tell you, that blew my mind, because everything in the Gospels, everything that Jesus said was absolutely perfect and true. And it applied to what happened 2,000 years ago. It applies to what happens right now. And it applies to what happens into the future. And so that was the beginning of my journey. It all started with the question, which is, why do bad things happen to good people? So in some ways, right, even in asking the question, something good came out of that.
So let me ask you this one, because this is a very important question. How can we all reaffirm our faith when we feel despair?
It's such a great question. And it's a question that I ask myself every day. For me, part of the answer is to stay inside the Bible, to read it every day. I read devotionals. I go to church online, by the way, right now. But to try
We all
to,
do.
it's what we can do right now. To me, when I feel disconnected from God, it's because I'm not reading the Bible. I'm not seeing the words, but I need to reaffirm it every single day. I pray to God many times a day, actually, for others, for forgiveness, for restoration. It's got to be a part of our daily lives. And I got to tell you, Dr. Brown, I feel like to some degree, God and the Bible have been so sort of cordoned off from our lives. People, in many cases, they may not go to church, they may not read the Bible, but it's right there for all of us. And I think, it's not crazy to say that the messages in the Bible are about goodness. It's about forgiveness. It's about grace. It's about how we should treat each other as people. Jesus laid it all out.
That's
And
right.
if we could aspire to that, I think that there is great hope for all of us, no matter what the situations, whether it's the coronavirus or the loss of a job or something else. We are all going to go through agony and despair because it's right in the Bible, throughout the Bible. But
Yeah.
there's a path forward, I think, for all of us.
Amen. And ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to buy Alec Klein's book, Aftermath, When It Felt Like Life Was Over. It's available as a download on Amazon. You can go to Barnes & Noble to buy the book. Go online. It's available everywhere. And again, Alec, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with us here on the program. And I'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah, it was an honor and love what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, Alec. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stick with me. I will be right back after this message.